It is a piece of infrastructure that is desperately needed in Hawke's Bay, where the population it's serving is around 160,000 people. It's growing and it is required. In addition to that, if I can just point out that this hospital is one that has been for some time talked about being renovated or rebuilt. We are undertaking that we will start from the first time that we're in government in 2021 to start the planning and development phase of it, and we expect to have the diggers in place by 2025, if not sooner.
We've had to prioritise buildings that have been leaking, areas where we have not had enough surgical beds, areas where, for instance, we've had to fix the lifts in the hospitals in Auckland, the basics. We are trying to and are making very good progress, but we were left with a long list of health investment that was required. Ultimately, people have 3 years of being able to see what a Labour government produces, and we create stability and certainty in a time when that is exactly what we believe New Zealand needs. In the midst of COVID, we need that stability, that certainty, and people have the proof of how we govern with a focus on health and our economy.
This is a period of time where clearly enormous amounts of money are going into supporting New Zealand to respond and recover from COVID. At the same time, parties who then make additional commitments beyond that have to be prepared to say how much they'll cost. The National Party is making uncosted policy announcements. It's, I think, reflective of a chaotic environment inside their party, and so I think every New Zealander will judge each party on their ability to do that. Because if you're making the promises now, you need to say how much they're going to cost. I mean, the pre-fu will tell you the impact on the overall finances of the government, but simply making uncosted promises is not responsible, doesn't provide New Zealanders with the certainty they need.
I think what is really irresponsible is loading a lot of extra debt and cost onto small businesses, and Grant Robertson is the last person to be talking about that. What I think is really important to understand is that we cannot simply borrow our way out of a recession. What we need to do is build our way out of it. This is the same Minister of Finance who signed off on those Kiwi Build projects that have turned into a complete rort. The fact is that we are focused on getting stuff done. I think it's really important to understand too, we will have a fully costed fiscal plan that we'll put out after the preview, and that will be able to answer any questions that Mr Robertson has. I would say to people is that the alternative to a national-led government is a Green Labour government, and that should scare basically the bejesus out of people, frankly.